As the Shibuya incident of Jujutsu Kaisen within the anime is beginning to wrap up, I really wanted to make another top 10 video. I figured I'd do another top 10 for Jujutsu Kaisen, but for the Shibuya incident. It all adds up, right? Anyways, the last one I did was actually the first video to do really well on my channel, so I feel like I'm doing a homage to it by doing this. With that being said, I'm going to outline the rules of this list. Characters are placed according to strength, abilities, versatility, regeneration, and battle IQ. However, versatility is prioritized out of all these factors, as I believe how many different matchups you're favorable in the series is more important than raw power. And I will be counting manga feats for a couple of the entries that didn't really get to go all out in the arc, however they still made the appearance, so be aware of manga spoilers. Although manga feats will be used for some, that does not mean I'm counting the peaks of all these characters during the incident, only the states they were in during the incident. This really only applies to one character on this list. With that being said, let's get into it. Look, it's winter. I know we're all starting to cozy up and snuggle in our own beds. However, I have something better. It's the perfect time to get into a game with unparalleled graphics, 800 unique champions to collect, and insane boss battles. Just from 800 unique champions alone, there's only one game you can do this in, so you know what I'm talking about. That's right. Raid Shadow Legends. To celebrate the winter, Raid has decided to drop a lot of cold champions such as Sir Nicholas, a powerful HP based champion. As he's a void legendary champion, he's already top tier. He hits hard with his skill multipliers, and his second skill plays a valuable shield that is based on damage dealt. And if the shield wasn't already powerful enough, his third skill places unkillable and continuous heal buffs for 2 turns, making him viable in every aspect of the game. Sir Nicholas is truly top tier, but he's only one of many new frosty additions to the game. There's also Pixie Yellow, the High Elves. With one of the most dope designs in the entire game with her dual bladed double fans, she brings many benefits to your team, such as an aura skill that increases your allies' resistance to crowd control effects, but not only bring your team resistance, but many valuable buffs such as Perfect Veil, increased defense, and continuous heal, meanwhile giving debuffs to the opposing side such as Weaken and Freeze. And these powerful characters is only where the celebration begins, since Raid has just dropped its biggest feature since the Doom Tower, the Cursed City. And man, with 100 stages to complete, including stages where you'll have to fight 2 bosses at once, and the city even has more to offer than this, as if you complete all of the quests and bosses, you'll get your hands on a new mythical champion. And if the rewards from the Cursed City isn't enough, Raid is doubling down on the festive celebrations with the Christmas Story, a holiday event where you work alongside Sir Nicholas in the story. This event will give you the chance to earn even more rewards from epic to legendary champions, and even an Amazon gift card in real life. All you need to do to join this event is head to raidxmas.com. So make sure you download Raid so you don't miss out on all of this festive goodness. With Raid dominating the market for years, if you haven't started playing yet, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses available only with my link. You'll get 2 epic characters with this link. Not 1, but 2 at the same time. First is Lightsworn, a very strong epic champion from the Sacred Order. His kit allows you to keep a team alive with an increased defense buff and a revive on death skill. And the second is Epic Juliana after reaching level 15 in the game. She's an epic champion and a boss killer from the Sacred Order as well. She's an attack type warrior wielding the magic affinity, and thus is a very strong matchup against enemies with affinity. Once you're in and destroying your enemies, come find me under the name JJK100 and join my clan of that same name, and we'll be legends together. So hit my link in the description and I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Starting off this list, we have Dagon. Born from humanity's fear of the sea, Dagon was a docile and childlike cursed spirit, a part of the Disaster Spirits group. This group was made with the intention of eradicating humanity and allowing curses to take over as Earth's primary species. Although Dagon is undoubtedly the weakest of this group, he's still a monster in himself, causing a group of powerful sorcerers tons of trouble. When Dagon matures and evolves into a full-fledged curse upon seeing the death of Hanami, he engages in battle against Maki, Naobito, and Nanami, 2 of these sorcerers being grade 1 and should be enough to take out a special grade curse alone, but Dagon is simply a level above the typical special grade. Upon activating his domain expansion, Dagon easily overwhelms the sorcerer trio, making the battle completely hopeless for them until Megami arrives to disrupt his domain, and even then, the battle was still questionable for the sorcerer's side at best. But as we all know, Toji Zenin came in and completely demolished him. Dagon's strongest trait is his ridiculous durability, as when he reaches his fully realized form, he becomes incredibly durable and difficult to damage, even for someone as powerful as Nanami. As Nanami questioned if he was able to hurt Dagon after hitting him with a critical hit from his ratio technique, although Dagon's durability is more akin to having high health points rather than high defense. Combined with his ridiculous survivability comes his very annoying curse technique, Disaster Tides. This technique allowing Dagon to produce just tons of tidal waves, with him being the primary source of it. And he's even able to potentially drown his opponents in certain locations. He's also built like an absolute unit, kicking Naobito through several trees and surviving being impaled through the head, although dying after he gets impaled a couple more times. Lastly is his domain expansion, Horizon of the Captivating Skanda. A domain is a barrier that allows the user to create an environment that surrounds the opponent and themselves, giving the user multiple effects such as increasing their stats and allowing any ability used in the domain to always hit its target. And Dagon's domain allows him to create a beach-like barrier, with the short hit ability being Death Swarm. An endless swarm of Shikigami biting down and striking the opponents. Due to it also being a technique that constantly strikes and rains pressure upon its opponents akin to Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine, it's pretty good for countering anti-domain techniques. Dagon embodying the beautiful yet dangerous nature of the sea through his techniques and domain expansion as the youngest member of the Disaster Curses nets him his spot at 10. At 9, we have another member of the Disaster Curses, Hanami. Born from humanity's fear of the forest, the special grade curse Hanami is another member of the Disaster Curses, not really caring for battle at first, but as it was forced to fight, began to crave it more and more. But sadly, Hanami's life came to an end shortly after at the hands of Satoru Gojo. Hanami's standout trait is a ridiculously high defense due to an immensely hard armor covering its entire body. This armor most notably being able to withstand a Black Flash combo from Yuji Todori and a hit from Aoi Todo while he was using the Playful Cloud, a feat that Gege has stated himself that Jogo would not be able to survive. Another unique trait that Hanami has is her unique presence, being able to catch even Gojo off guard. Apparently, this is due to her having the presence of a regular spirit despite being a curse, one of the few tricks in the series that can even trick the Six Eyes. Hanami's curse technique allows her to manifest cursed spirits and manipulate them in the way that she chooses, even making them disappear out of existence when she's done with them instantly. She's also been shown to use these plants in a multitude of ways, such as making roots to either attack or create structures, these roots becoming weaker as they multiply and expand, or launching cursed buds onto people that feed on their cursed energy. Hanami also has access to domain amplification, and lastly, her domain expansion, the Ceremonial Sea of Light. Upon Hanami charging the cursed energy on her shoulder, she releases it as an opener to her domain, and the effects of the domain allow her to constantly regenerate herself, make her enemies weaker due to the flowers surrounding them, and use the earth as a short hit, being extremely versatile and strong as a last-ditch effort. Hanami certainly exceeds the bounds of special grade cursed spirits in the series, and the other sorcerers should thank Gojo for being the one to handle Hanami every time she's appeared. Next up we have Jogo. Born from humanity's fear of volcanoes and earthquakes, Jogo was born with immense strength. Having such a deeply rooted fear has given Jogo overwhelming destructive power and speed as a special grade cursed spirit. Non-sorcerers simply combust and explode in the presence of this monster, and he was able to speed blitz and one-shot several powerful sorcerers such as Naobito and Nanami in the span of seconds. Saying Jogo was able to outclass some of the most talented sorcerers would be an understatement. Despite its massive speed and strength, he's quite durable as well, being able to take a heavy beating from Gojo and withstand multiple attacks from Sukuna. His curse energy is also extraordinary, being compared to 9 of Sukuna's fingers, and he's the only curse to construct both a domain and a maximum technique, a testament to his mastery of Jujutsu. Jogo's curse technique is Disaster Flames, allowing Jogo to generate massively concentrated flames or heat rays from his palms, or manifest small volcanic openings in the environment that were also able to shoot out these same heat rays, providing him massively efficient and overwhelming offense. An extension of this technique is Ember Insects, allowing him to send insects flying toward his opponents akin to miniature heat-seeking missiles. Jogo's maximum technique is Meteor, which as the name implies, allows him to generate a meteor and throw it at his opponent, whereas his domain expansion, Coffin of the Iron Mountain, constructs the inside of a volcano that he can manipulate at will. The interior of this volcano being so intense that the average sorcerer instantly dies within it without even being hit by any attacks. Jogo embodies absolute and overwhelming offense, and despite this, he boasts quite the strong defense. Despite Jogo being one of the most powerful characters in the series, he was very unlucky to run into both Sukuna and Gojo as his opponents. Mahito. A cursed spirit is born when the negative emotions of humans toward a certain subject are pulled together, amalgamating into a cursed spirit. The more widespread this negative emotion is, the more powerful the cursed spirit will be. And according to Mahito, the emotion that birthed him was the hatred that humanity has for one another. This making him as cursed as a curse can be, and despite this, he bears the most human appearance of them all, essentially resembling a mirror of death for humanity. Mahito bears one of, if not the most potent curse technique in the series, idol transfiguration, this ability allowing him to reshape the soul, and by proxy, the body. He can transform and destroy the body of his opponents with one touch, and manipulate his own body into various shapes in order to make touching his opponents much easier by catching them off guard, restraining them, or increasing his range. But it doesn't stop there. He's able to heal his own wounds with relative ease, and even create clones that can use this curse technique on themselves, although they can't use it on others. When Mahito's pushed to the brink, he's able to access a transformation that made him even more muscular and monstrous, called the Instant Spirit Body of Distorted Killing. In order to activate this technique, he must rip his own face off, and Mahito's so powerful in this state that Yuji's unable to hurt him without the use of Black Flash. And it's stated that he's become a completely different being from his human state. Keep in mind, Mahito can use idol transfiguration on his opponents when he's on this form. He just can't use it on himself. Mahito has also come to understand the true essence of cursed energy through being the only curse to land a Black Flash, and who knows how far he would have gone if he hadn't been defeated by Yuji and Kenjaku in the Shibuya incident. Mahito also boasts arguably the strongest domain expansion effect in the series, the self-embodiment of perfection. This domain has a short hit of Mahito's idol transfiguration. Basically means that Mahito will instantly kill anybody that he successfully landed on by distorting their soul. You cannot regenerate from any damage it deals on you either. If Mahito successfully lands this attack on you, it's game over. Mahito is the worst of humanity incarnate, and he carves his spot in at 7 due to this. At 6, we have Yuki Tsukumo, and 4, 5, and 6 are all interchangeable depending on how you value certain values of these characters and their techniques. Also, this is where we step into manga spoilers, so be aware. Yuki Tsukumo is the last special grade sorcerer we meet in the series, appearing at the very end of the Shibuya incident just as when hope seemed lost. Being one of the 4 special grade sorcerers, she of course boasts ridiculous stats and strength alongside a technique capable of destroying a country at maximum capacity. This innate technique being Star Rage. Star Rage allows Yuki to grant virtual mass onto herself and her Shikigami Garuda. This virtual mass being added to their attacks and thus massively increasing their damage output, being able to effortlessly destroy a special grade curse amped by Kenjaku. And she also bears good enough hand to hand to fight Kenjaku head on, who is stated to be one of the best hand to hand combatants in the series. Garuda is her Shikigami that is directly connected to Star Rage, which allows her to use it as a weapon in battle in different ways. It can also fight independently if need be. She also has reverse curse technique, allowing herself to heal after she tanked a direct hit from Kenjaku's domain expansion, and she also has access to simple domain and her own domain expansion, but we don't know what it is. Yuki Tsukumo though earns her spot at number 6 and as a special grade sorcerer. At number 5 we have Toji Fushiguro. Has reached their pinnacle and allowing him to move at some of the fastest speeds in the series. He was even able to completely dodge an attack from Gojo before Gojo himself had realized it, and completely destroy Dagon, one of the most powerful special grade curses in the series, with relative ease. Combine Toji's immense stats with the inventory he usually carries for missions, and he's even able to contend with some of the strongest characters in the series. Using the split soul katana, bypassing all physical durability and cutting the soul, combined with the inverted spear of heaven, this spear completely nullifying all curse techniques upon contact, Toji's a problem. He tops all of this off with very high battle intelligence, creating foolproof plans for his fight specifically when he was alive. Toji's a threat to anybody in the series, and most of the time they don't even realize it since he has no curse energy for them to read. Most in the series who hypothetically face him would be killed before they realize that he's not even a normal human. Being said to be equal to Maki Zenin, who was able to effortlessly destroy the strongest cursed spirit in the series Naoya and even contend with a nerfed Ryomen Sukuna at 15 fingers, he truly is a god of war. After Toji, we have the 8-handled sword divergent Sela Divine General Maharaga at 4. And as previously stated, Maharaga, Toji, and Yuki can be changed around depending on what you value out of each of them. Maharaga first boasts immense strength, being able to send Sukuna flying through multiple buildings with a single blow and enter an extended battle with Sukuna in the anime. Although Sukuna was not really going all out, this is still a 15-finger Sukuna we're talking about. When it comes to the battle against Gojo, I'm unsure if Maharaga's stats increase when under the use of Sukuna, so we'll exclude those feats. My editor likely knows the answer to this though.
In my opinion, the answer is yes, seeing how Sukuna positively affected both Nue and Divine Dogs after controlling them.
Maharaga also boasts a sword of extermination, a blade attached to his arm that's enveloped in positive energy, allowing Maharaga to essentially one-shot any cursed spirits. What places Maharaga here, alongside his immense strength in this blade, finally, is his ability to analyze and adapt to any phenomena. If it's injured by any attacks, the wheel on top of its head will spin, allowing it to adapt to said attack. In the event that this happens, and the opponent uses the same attack again, Maharaga will either counter or nullify it. And this also works offensively as well, chaining its nature or attacks to efficiently destroy its opponent's defenses. This ability gives Maharaga the chance to fight any character in the series, except for those who can output ridiculous damage in one attack, such as Toji and Yuki. However, Maharaga places above them due to having a much better chance against those above him on this list. And although I do think Toji and Yuki would beat Maharaga, he would still give them an extremely difficult fight. The last 3 shouldn't be too difficult to explain, and I'm sure you guys know how this will go. At 3, we have Kenjaku. Kenjaku holds 3 different curse techniques, and a reversal for one of these, this being gravity manipulation. Combine this with his immense strength and knowledge as a sorcerer, this allowed him to defeat Yuki Tsukumo while she had help from Choso and Tengen, and even defeat the reality-bending Takaba, whose technique is said to rival Gojo's Limitless. Kenjaku is also one of the only sorcerers in the series to boast both a maximum and domain expansion, both of which cause devastating damage to characters on the level of special grade sorcerers. Maki, after awakening, has even stated that if Yuki could not defeat Kenjaku, then nobody could except for Gojo, and Kenjaku overall stands as the gatekeeper to the territory of the strongest. With Gege Akutami using Jogo and Maharaga, 2 of the Shibuya incident's most overwhelming, destructive, and powerful participants, to display the absolute power that Sukuna holds even at 15 fingers, there's quite the clear message that Gege is attempting to communicate here. Sukuna is calamity incarnate. Being a master of Jujutsu, wielding many instant kill techniques such as cleave, dismantle, fuga, and potentially even more, there is none who can step to him except for Gojo. Even in this 15-finger state, he was able to briefly clash with Gojo, something none other can do. As Gojo considers Sukuna to be a rival, even in this weakened state of his, Sukuna's spot at number 2 is rightfully deserved. At 1, we have Satoru Gojo, master and wielder of the Limitless and 6 Eyes. As he's simply untouchable by everybody not named Sukuna due to requiring immense cursed energy with the combination of domain amplification, simply touching Gojo is a tall order for any character in the series to complete. Gojo completely decimating Toji Fushiguro in his teen years, overwhelming all the disaster curses and Choso at once, one-shotting Ume, Kenjaku admitting that he could never find a way to defeat Gojo himself, to Ryomen Sukuna at his full strength, openly admitting respect for Gojo's strength. We all know what Gojo's capable of and what he can do. As of the ending of the Shibuya incident, Gojo retains his title as the strongest. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to use my Raid Shadow Legends link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses for new players with new champions.